Hello, everybody. I'm Don Counts. Welcome into Fayetteville Public Utilities, and we have our CEO, General Manager Britt here with us. And here we are going into August, and a lot of things going on here at FPU.
There it is, Don.
Yep, you've got a lot going on, and one thing that I would like to say is I jump all the way down to the 8-1 to the move over down here. There's times where I guess we've got crews virtually all over the county, probably 4 or 5, maybe more crews, especially counting our utility work, our contractors on the side of the road, and we want to make sure everybody moves over and just drives safe around our utility zones.
That's right. They try to have enough signs and cones out, and that is the fiber contractors. And plus, you got our folks out there working too. So anytime they're beside the road with the road signs and the cones and the flagmen, and you don't need a utility service that we offer, they have to set up and do traffic control.
Well, July was a very hot, dry month, and then it turned to a wet month the last couple of weeks, and so that's been kind of an odd year for a July.
It is, and it's not wet everywhere. There's some parts of the county that's seen a lot of rain, and there's some parts of the county that got just a little bit of rain. But it kicked in a little bit more yesterday. I think that was about the entire county. But it's starting to get warm. Heat indexes, they're predicting up around 109 degrees, and it's not safe conditions if you're out there working or if you're inside not doing anything. You just got to be sure you take care of yourself.
I guess the crews have got to be prepared for the extreme heat, number one, and also the afternoon, evening thunder showers that pop up and can cause damage pretty quickly.
Yeah, when it gets hot like this, the lightning is more intense, and you can see how much the climate's really changed of how much trouble there is now with intense lightning, because it is changing, especially when it gets this hot.
Yep. I know years ago, the drought, we worked together through a leak situation in the water department. Now, I don't know exactly what caused the leaks, but I think the dry conditions hurt the pipes in the ground.
Well, that, and, a lot of times we'll start having problems where, if they're paving or doing a road or something like that, the weight of the heavy equipment can cause us a problem. That's what happened to us one time back several years ago when we had the main leak and we actually drained the water tank, on the Reservoir Hill. So didn't like to ever found it, but I'm glad that we did.
There's a whole lot of that kind of construction going on. 64 East is being done, and that starts around Mulberry Avenue, so a lot of signs there, and that's in progress now. And there's a lot of construction all over the whole county that we have to work with.
That's right, and we got bids coming in this week for our water projects that's fixing to start up, and we're anxious to see what that's going to come in at, because usually here in the past few years since the COVID had hit, everything has gone sky high with material and labor, and we're just anxious to see how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we had a maintenance window. We were going to do some maintenance, but we had to postpone that due to the heat. We have to do some of those from time to time. You might talk a little bit about that.
Well, what we have to do is when we energize another transformer in a station, if we go get ready to close up some switches and those kinds of things, we don't want to cause a big problem. So the safest way to do it is, you de-energize the substation, close your switches, open up some other switches, then energize the transformer to be sure everything is okay, because if we don't do that and something were to turn bad, we could be out for several hours, and we really don't want this to be to about a 30-minute outage. And, a lot of the area that it covers when we do have an outage, it's so widespread, and we don't want to mistakenly say that you're going to be on and your lights go out.
Yeah.
And we just try to give areas, but when we say the outskirts of town, you'd be like going toward the west, down toward Pearl City, Boones Hill Road, the town, the hospitals. We're going to be able to backfeed most of that, but the lower part of the town could be out. But, Park City area, it won't be out. Blanche won't be out. Flantville won't be out, not unless there's something else that's going on that we're unaware of at the time that we do have the outage. But, it's just hard to pinpoint, because if you say a road, then everybody's going to say, well, I'm on this road and I'm not going to be out, but you could be out.
That's right.
So that's the reason we just try to give a generic area of what's going to be affected.
We're trying our best through social media and radio and anywhere we can is to be as transparent as possible, but it's not a perfect circle that we can just exactly say exactly who's in, who's out. So we're just trying to get people be prepared who might be on the fringes of it just need to be ready in case. But I'm sure since that particular maintenance window was postponed, we will have to do it at a later date. We just have to wait till the time is right.
Right. When the weather breaks, probably more toward the fall, but if the weather breaks before that time, we'll actually go back in and plan that outage and take care of it that night at midnight. That's the reason we planned it at midnight. And like I said, we hope it don't take longer than 30 minutes. It could be like 10 or 15 minutes, that actual outage takes.
Yeah.
And I made a comment to somebody, we'll have it back on for your fan sealing quits turning,
yeah.
So
one thing too is we see that more in maybe the internet side of the business where they have to do some upgrades and things like that where they have to turn things off. But as you say, we do our best to do those in the overnight hours when most people are not using the internet.
That's right.
All right. One thing I'd like to talk about is the Cross Connection Survey to help update our records and continue to maintain safe drinking water for our customers. FPU's water customers will be receiving a Cross Connection Survey in their utility bills in August. And if you receive a survey, we want you to complete it and send it back at your earliest convenience. Completed paper copies can be mailed in here with your next utility payment, and also emailed to customer service at fpu-tn.com or delivered here at the office at 408 College Street. These surveys include a QR code, so if some people want to do that online, that would be nice too. And this is very important for us to get these surveys out there so people can understand what's going on.
That's right. We got to be sure we got high quality drinking water and safe drinking water as well. And this information we get to the state, and it's required that we do this, and it's very, very important. Just fill it out and get it back into us, so we'll know if we got a problem with a cross connection.
There's a lot of regulations in your business and all your utilities, but especially water for sure, and sewer as well. So there's a lot to keep up with there.
It is, and it changes every day. So, it's getting more strict, and, what they say, the stricter it is, more it costs as well. Yeah. So especially with different type chemicals that you have to use to treat the water and the wastewater.
Oh, yeah, and water quality, not only the drinking water, but the water in the Elk River, which we're blessed to have running right through our community. The quality of that water is a big deal. You even hearing them talk about over at the Olympics now, where water quality that they were going to be swimming in is a big deal. And you deal with that all the time. EPA regulations might be a pain, but it's very important for the environment.
It's very, very good that they have it. It's very, very good for the environment as well as the protection of our customers.
Absolutely. One thing, as you grew up here being a lineman, you know how important it is for people not to put signs on utility poles. And it seems to be, as we're in election period now, signs everywhere. There's signs, but the key thing is we really would rather them not be on the utility poles.
Yeah, they don't need to be on the utility poles. And, it's really against the law to put signs on the utility poles. And you don't want to get it to where every time you have a sign, you got to take action with the sign being on the pole. But it is dangerous to our linemen out there that's climbing, our cable folks as well that works in our cable department. Because you climb a pole and you got signs on them when you're going to knock it off. They're told to knock every sign off the pole. They're not going to take a chance of climbing over the sign. And then you got nails left in the poles, all that kind of material that's dangerous to the lineman. They can fall and get cut and everything else.
Sure.
So that's the reason we don't like signs on the poles.
Plus, you have to explain this better to me, but the rubber gloves could get pricked by it. That means even more dangerous as the guys get up to the top. And when you're talking about staples, we're talking about nails, we're talking about tacks, we're talking about all kinds of things. And when you look at some poles, there looks like millions are on there. And I know that sounds like a stretch, but they're all over.
They're all over the place. And like you brought up the rubber glove issue, they got to wear rubber gloves from the ground to where they're going. And so they got them on 90% of the time that they own that post. So, you get one pinhole, especially if you're working 7,200 volts or 14,000 volts, it makes a difference. And it makes a bigger difference if you've got a glove that's got a hole in it when it's raining and you're working on energized lines.
So what we're saying is we just ask you to keep our crews safe and don't post any kind of signs or poles, or flyers on our utility poles. We mentioned briefly when me and you were sitting here, we're talking about it's too cold or too hot. Well, right now the summer heat is here, and you have to keep an eye on the electric grid, and as we are the middleman getting our power through TVA and then distributed out to Fayetteville, Lincoln County, it's a big responsibility to make sure that we have enough power coming in here to feed everybody.
That's right. TVA is doing a great job right now as far as communicating, and we have calls. When it gets hot again like this, we had several calls here a couple of months ago about where the grid was at, how much power is available. And they've done a great job, like I said, communicating that. But all the LPCs are on that call, so we all know where we are in case if something did happen. We know where we are as far as the LPC here of what we can do and what we can't do, and if we had to move some load, what we're able to do. So it's not that you just sit back and not think about it, because you have to think about it to try to be prepared the best you can be, and sometimes that's still not good enough. But we try the best that we can to be sure that we try to keep everybody's lights on.
Well, we try to do our best we also talk about during extreme cold temperatures, high bills, and then extreme hot temperatures, we're back in that same boat where bills will be higher as the air conditioner is working harder.
That's right. And, the hotter it is outside, the warmer it is inside, even if you got your unit running, and it's going to try to make up the difference between what's inside and the outside. And, a lot of people don't understand that, but that's the way that it is. And I feel like the last time at my house that my thermostat, I don't know if my unit ever cut off, and I'm not one of those that's got it cut down to 68 or 69 degrees. Right. We got it run up there along with the ceiling fans too. So it's tough on a unit to run during this hot.
It is. It's amazing. Appreciate the guy who came up with air conditioning and heat, especially. But one thing you can do, you can set your home thermostat to the highest comfortable temperature as possible. Close your curtains and blinds during the day. Cook on the microwave or outside grill helps. And then also some of your larger appliances like washers and dryers and dishwashers and run those at night would help. Use fans and just like he said, air ceiling fans, things like that. One thing about it is, what do you say in our regular day where you see the highest peak? Is it morning, noon, evening?
Well, right now it's late evening. You're talking anywhere from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It'll be the highest peak of when it's really, really hot. But now when school starts back, it could be a little earlier than that, or it could be early morning now. So we do have peak hours. It does make a difference, and we just have to look at it and see what we got to do to be sure again that we got everybody trying to keep the power on.
To maintain your bill, budget billing, you can give predictable electric bills and natural gas bills. FPU offers that, so you can. It kind of averages a 12-month usage. That's one thing. Also, bank draft. That for people who are on vacation, you don't have to really worry about trying to get a bill in here. We still have a lot of people pay their bill in this building and through the drive-through, and it's amazing how many people come through here when we do have other options that would help them do that, but some people still do it. But it's a good service we have, but it's amazing how many people do still come in here and pay.
That's right. Customers got a choice, and that's good that we offer several choices for our customer, and it's whatever they feel comfortable and how they pay, and that's what they need to do.
Another way is secure pay. That number, telephone number has changed, so if you happen to have that in your phone, that number changed lately to 1-855-939-3780. This allows customers to pay 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is a convenience fee of $3.95. That's a pass-through to the third-party service provider. So it's still a convenience fee, and it's kind of convenient if you want to pay your bill middle of the night or whatever, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So for people who think about that, I'm going to tell that number one more time since it changed. The number is 1-855-939-3780. If you call the old number, it will give you that number, but it'll save you a little time. All right, school programs. School is cranking up, as you mentioned. You will actually see, I guess, an increase in the usage of electricity with all the schools cranking up at one time. I guess they run a little bit anyway, but now with the kids there. But we have some school programs that FPU offers free programs to our local schools to educate students about electricity and natural gas. And we do pre-K through third graders. We're presenting Louis the Lightning Bug. That's a really good program to teach about electrical safety, and Sniffy, the Sniffosaurus, is that what you call that? To teach about natural gas safety and the smell. Then 4th through 8th grades, German linemen go out and teach electrical safety, and the kids love that. We give the little hard hats, and that's been a huge thing for all the young kids. The demonstrations for the outdoor. We also have this tabletop out demonstration, and we also have the outdoor big safety trailer. You might talk a little bit about both of those trailers.
Well, the in-house is what we do with the younger kids, showing them the dangers of electricity and what can happen if you don't do everything right or look above and see if there's any conductors above your head and those kinds of things. But, the outside demonstrations is just like it's the real thing. Yeah. We have transformers on the trailer, we have poles on the trailer, and we energize the wire on the trailer at 7,200 volts. And, it's really amazing where you get the arc and all those kinds of things, but that's the real deal.
It's the real deal, and the lineman could really get hurt. So it's a real serious deal, and there's a lot of noise and a lot of arcing, and it's pretty entertaining. And so hopefully you'll get an opportunity to see that. Let's see. Since students are returning to school, a lot of people is going to want that high-speed internet. You might talk a little bit about where we are with the broadband grant.
Well, we're in the northeastern part of the county and to the east part of the county, and, we keep building and applying for more grant money to build more in the middle mile, and we'll see what happens with that. And we're trying to get it to every customer that we have that we can serve. Again, I have to talk about when you got the grant money, you can't not serve a customer in the area that somebody else has got that area, whether it be Spectrum or Comcast or whoever it may be, because you're not allowed to use the grant funds to go in somebody else's area.
Yeah, we're not in the business of taking somebody else out of business. We're in the business of trying to get internet to the non-served, underserved. And when we talk about underserved, we're talking about people with very little internet. And there's people who got some internet out there, but it's just not very good. Now, what we're providing is daylight and dark.
That's right. And, we're also getting ready to start our design here in the next month or two on what we're going to do inside the city, because that was the first part of the plant that we built originally back in 1999, I believe it was. And, it's time to start upgrading that and get fiber to the home as well inside the city, is just like what we're doing outside the city. So as that money becomes available, we'll start picking little pockets and upgrading.
That'll be a really big deal, I know, and a big project. But one thing about it is, if you're talking about 99, I guess that means the old cable plant, which is now an internet plant, is basically 25 years old. And you're basically saying in the next few years we're going to be stripping that out and putting new in.
Yes, because, it's the old coax plant, and it's time to get replaced, and it just takes a lot of funds to get that done, but we are working on it, and like I said, we're getting the design together to get it done. It just takes time, because you're talking almost like 110 to 115 miles.
Wow.
Just inside the city itself.
Yeah, that's amazing when you think about everybody lives that close within that small amount of area, that much cable plant in the air. We appreciate what you do. You got a lot to keep up with as we continuing to grow on the telecom side and keeping everything, the water flowing and the sewer working and the gas rolling, and also the electricity. We have a big job to do, and you got a big job to keep everybody straight and rolling in the right direction.
Well, we got a good group of dedicated employees, and they know how to take care of themselves out there in the heat. I'm not going to say that some of them don't get really hot, but they're all informed to take care of yourself, stay hydrated. We furnish some Gatorade and all those kinds of things throughout the day. But you don't have to be outside to get hot. Even if you're inside, you got to be sure you take care of yourself, and we'll try to do everything we can for everybody to be safe.
We got the whole month of August ahead, plus probably halfway through or even farther down into September, some really, really hot days. And so we're going to do our best to take care of our employees and our customers, and want to let everybody know that on social media, if you want to find out the latest information, what's going on here, from jobs to ways to save your electric bill, you can go on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and this program is played on YouTube, and you also see it on our social media. You can also see all this stuff on our website at fpu-tn.com, and we do our best to keep the community informed, and not to mention all the things that we do for the community, which I know you got some things coming up, and we can talk about next month, but some of the things we like to do for our community as well.
That's right, and you did mention the one about the little short fiber outage we're going to be having coming up, right?
I don't think I mentioned it, but we do have that coming up in the next week or so, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, we'll get that information out on social media and our website, and it's probably out there now, but we'll make sure we get that out there.
I think it's only affecting 54 customers, I
okay.
think.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, we appreciate it, Britt. Anything else before we go?
No, just, protect yourself. Watch out for the extreme heat that they're talking about that's coming in here, and please watch our workers out there when they're alongside the roadway.
All right. Anybody alongside the roadway, please move over and give them some room, and just be careful out there. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you watching here on Fayetteville Public Utilities, and we'll see you back in here next month for another update from our CEO.